Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Strv 103B. It's a tier 10 Swedish tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Malinovka, and this one is under the command of Sepp von Awa of the SBN clan. And he was asking me today, whilst I was watching Paul's stream, did I have the video? Yes, I do have the replay, and here it's been done. Well, it's a 105mm main gun. It's actually the L74, which is the same gun manufactured by the British, but this one is manufactured by Bofors instead, which is, of course, a Swedish manufacturing company. The S-Tank was the first tank that actually had a turbine as standard in the vehicle. They made a variety of different tanks. The 103A was a Rolls-Royce and a Boeing engine. And the 103B, which we're seeing here, has got a Rolls-Royce and a Caterpillar engine. And the 103C has got a Detroit engine and a Caterpillar. Now, the top speed is 60 kilometers an hour in actual fact, but in the game they can only do about 50. What's so different about it is that this was the first tank that was mass produced that didn't have a turret. Okay, he's gone to the aim, but he can't shoot at that Leopard yet because he's not in a position where we can get shots on him. But he's moving forward, that's it. Now, it aims using the suspension, as you may know, and so long as the suspension's working, the gunner can actually aim by moving the vehicle about. It only has a 3-man crew, which is of course the commander, the driver, and the radio operator. And the radio operator has got a second set of controls, so he can drive the thing backwards if he needs to escape. So it's got two driver's positions, one facing forward and one facing backward. The gun is fixed, it's actually solidly mounted, so it can't move at all. So even though Wargaming actually gives it, or shows that it's actually got a bit of arc either way, but in actual fact, no, it doesn't have anything at all. No arc, it's fixed gun. Now, they actually developed it in the 1950s. The guy who did it was Sven Burge, and he came up with the idea in 1956 and called it the Alternative S. S for being Swedish. Basically, height was the problem because what they were trying to do was eliminate the turret and make the tank much more difficult to detect. Of course, it would literally hide in the bushes, which is basically the same theory that the Hetzer had. It was so low, and the Strv for that matter, so low that the enemy couldn't see the thing, and so that's why they couldn't pick it up until, of course, it fired. Then they knew where it was, but by then it was usually too late for somebody. Well, there's grass slightly to our left, but we can't get a shot on him. And we missed out on a chance to get the T-34, but I think we'll get him with a subsequent shot. And he tracks him. Now, the reload by the book is 6.71 seconds. And I think you can see here that Sepp has got it down to 6.47. Keeping that guy tracked. Now, he's got a 120mm gun, but it looks like he did get some damage on some of our guys, but not a huge amount. And now we can pull forward. Looks like the enemy didn't get up the hill, but they might be in that tree line just a bit yonder. Now, it does have an auto-loader. Same ammo as the British as well, funnily enough. It was in service from 1967 to 1997, and various museums do have working copies of this tank. Know that the Tank Museum of Boddington has a version of it. I'm not sure if it's working, but it's the one which actually does have all the gas tanks along the side of the vehicle. Because actually, fuel can act as, or fuel cans can act as armour almost. And in fact, the fuel itself can slow down the shell. There's an Su-130PM to our right, but we're holding the aim on the target at the moment. This is Barask and a Leopard down there somewhere. Now, when it was actually replaced by the Leopard 2, which was known as the Strv 121 and 122. So, replaced by a tank that was made by the Germans. It's a very novel idea. In fact, I wondered if they still had enough of them in service. Ooh, we got hit in the tracks. And that's a worry, because if you do get hit in the tracks and you are tracked, you can't aim. But the thing is that I was wondering, are they going to actually send any of these to the war zone? Because it will be very interesting to see what actually happens if the Russians came up against an S-tank. I think they will panic, because there's no turret for them to aim at. And even if they did send over a drone, well, the thing is that the hull armor is actually very thin, but it's got an autoloader mechanism and everything to actually load the shells in, as I said. So in order to get an ammo rack, they would actually have to hit the ammo store. I think they probably covered the vehicle in various bits of mesh to stop any drones from attacking it. But in the game, it's a very accurate tank. As you can see here, he's getting that T-103 a bit of a lesson, although he's right down on the edge there now. Lost sight of him temporarily. The only drawback really is the reload time. It's slightly longer, but then it is a 105mm shell, capable of 390 alpha. With the standard APCR, oh, didn't get that one in. Standard APCR 308mm. With the premium APCR, it's actually 350mm. So got a lot of pen. It's using standard ammo. Yeah, I went through the lower plate of the TS60. Go for the cupola. Yes, he got it as well. Right on the edge of it, but he did get through it. And that guy appears to be looking at us, but he's only a one shot now. Oh, he went down just before we fired, so we missed out on the kill. So far, Sepp hasn't had a kill, but he has had a lot of assistance, a lot of spotting, and a lot of actual damage, 3,211. So he's up to 7k basically already. That's combined, of course. That's certainly going to make him a very, very good scorer at the end of the game. Because, of course, most of the win 8 comes from actual damage, but the overall score and the mastery actually will come from a combination of both. And at the moment, it does look like he's on an ace tanker game. Now this tank is also fully amphibious, so it can actually cross rivers. Obviously they have to put a pipe on to actually enable the thing to breathe as it goes underwater. And again, it does have that turbine engine, which makes it hungry for air as it's turning over. Normally it's the diesel that will actually be operating at normal operation, when it's actually just oh, got the grass. When it's in normal mode like this, where it's just ticking over, the diesel the turbine engine comes in when it's actually moving faster. And the fact that the gun is fitted at one end means that this basically is a defensive tank. And of course, Sweden for a long time was a defensive country because it was neutral. Not anymore. I think the Russians persuaded them to join NATO because it was and so unexpected that they invaded somebody else. And well, we're 2 down on the enemy at the moment, and the enemy's getting fairly close to our cap area, and I think Sepp's decided, oops, I think we need to get back and provide cover. All he needs to do is get back to the lookout position at F7, and he can spot the cap area from there. The view range for this tank is 360 meters, but he does have the binos, so he can sit there in the bush with his binos on and he can see a lot further. It's probably better for him to do it because he can go hull down. Now, technically speaking, the gun depression is 12 degrees. And so, yes, he can actually get into a position where it's very difficult for the enemy to spot him. And in fact, the first thing he spots is a leopard. In fact, somebody else spotted him. Oh, that dropped. That really dropped. It hit the tracks. He's still there. So he fires another one in. Okay, we've got an enemy tank, a TVPT 5051. With that unusual insect-like colour scheme. Got one in through the front of the vehicle there, through the drive wheel. Low roll though. Can you get him again? Shoot through the wall. No, couldn't get it through that tiny little gap there. But this tank is so accurate, it can do that sort of shot if it needs to. TVP's trying to back up too much, and that's a big mistake, and Sepp takes his first kill of the game. There's another TVP somewhere in the bushes. Now he's aimed specifically where he thinks he is, which is behind that building. Our STB's moving up, so if that guy is there, he's going to spot him, and he might be able to tell us where we need to aim. Of course, keep somebody in a crossfire and they're going to die very quickly. There's the TVP showing his ass, and yes, he's out the game. Second kill for Sepp. Okay, so now we're only one down on the enemy. We still have that Wizzy 111 GFT up the other end of the map, and the Leopard prototype's actually coming up the hill to look for us, I think. Because obviously they can see that the Strv has suddenly killed two of their tanks. They don't want that to continue. Okay, the T-103 is too far away and he kills our Wizzy 111. Okay, he fired that one down the line of fire, anticipating that he might get the shell near the target. Whilst we're waiting to find out what the enemy's up to, because we've got the STB moving up towards the enemy cap area, which is a bit dangerous because there's a Foch 155 on the enemy team, and he could eradicate that STB-1 very quickly. But whilst we're waiting, I actually ought to share something with you. Somebody actually joined Arty Noobs today on Facebook, and apparently I did a video for them in 2017. And it was a hilarious video as well. Lovely shot. Takes out the DCT, but we did get spotted, so we have to pull back. Yes, that video was from 2017, and it was funny because the player actually had an M44, and he killed a T26E4. That's the Super Pershing, and he killed him. Lovely. He used the bush mechanic on that one. But he killed him by crashing him. Yes, the guy tried to roll over the top of an M44, and the M44 rolled over him and killed him. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen. Well, Sepp's trying to evade from that area. He needs to get up to the ramp now. Now, the Leopard prototype's probably up here. The only worry is that if the Leopard prototype was able... Oh, that's deep water. If the Leopard prototype was able to track him, then obviously he could get behind him and kill him. But it's 2 versus 2 now, so it's anyone's game. And we're into the last minute. Still, it was nice to be reminded of a video I did over 6 years ago, 7 years ago actually. Yes, very surprising indeed. But the guy who actually contacted me to join Arty Noobs said he sent the video in hoping that it would actually get shown on the channel. It was, and it was in the old pre-HD format. Well, it looks like we're not going to get a win because it looks like the Leopard prototype and the Foch have both run away to ensure that they get a draw. 10 seconds to go. And that's it. Time's up. I know some people would say that getting a draw is like kissing your sister. It really doesn't count and it's not the same. But when you get these sort of results, it's actually very good indeed. This was an ace tanker for Sepp von Awa. He actually managed to get a high caliber out of it as well. He picked up a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. Fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. And he also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8. And his win rate from this game was 8,205, which is Super Unicum standard and quite a bit more. He's had ace tankers with this vehicle before, but he thought he'd send this one in because it was a very high value combined damage. If you look at the amount of spotting as well as the actual damage that he did. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage was 5,919, and that was more than 20% of the enemy hit pool, and that earned him a high caliber. Second highest damage was the DCT-159. He killed that guy. He got 4,869. And the third highest damage was the TVP-T5051, and he got that one too. So he killed the best guys on the enemy team. When it came to kills, you can see he also got the highest number of those. 4 kills went to Sepp. 3 kills went to the DCT-159 and also to the TVP-T5051, or at least one of them. And 2 kills you can see went to the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV on his own team, the UDIS 1516, and the TVP-T5051, the other one, on the enemy team, as well as their Porsche 155, who ran away. And when it came to base XP, you can see that he is above the others because he was outperforming. 798 went to Sepp, 622 went to the DCT, and then 533 went to the SU-130PM on his own team. He fired 26 rounds, got 19 direct hits, 16 penetrations, 5,919, of which 3,067 were at more than 300 meters. Now, this tank is a long-range sniper if you can actually see the targets. 2 hits received, 1 penetrated, 1 didn't, actually was blocked. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, 4,975 hit points of spotting assist in that game. And look at that combined damage. Yes, it is that high because basically that's 6k, that's 5k, it's 11k combined damage. So that is really good. That's why it's an ace tanker and it's worth it. He also earned 92,951 credits from that game, including Holiday Ops, and he got the Courageous Resistance. It would have been much higher, but for the fact, of course, that it was a draw. He got 5 bonds for this being a tier 10, and he got 1,899 experience points out of it as well. It was a good game. It shows the power of the Strv 103B in the right hands. A lot of the Strvs do get taken out if they're on the battlefield. They're not fully as rare as Sepp is, but he was good in this one, and he did actually prevent the enemy from having a go at his cap, and in return he forced the draw. But it's a pity that they didn't actually get the win, because those guys must have run off and realized that let's go and Scarpa, and that way at least we get a draw out of it. Hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And I'll be back with another replay from Sepp in a short while, so do stick around. Thanks for watching.